I'm Nina. I'm an artist and art therapist, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an art zine. This is an intuitive mixed media process that is playful and fun, but even more than that, it's a practice in sitting with imperfection and uncertainty and just seeing where it takes us. So let me start by walking you through some of the supplies that we're going to be using today. So first of all, you're going to want to have some kind of paint. I like using acrylic paint. I also like using gouache because it acts as a mix between watercolor and acrylic paint. I've got some Posca paint markers. These can come in different tip types, so this is like a brush tip, bullet tip, and I like this one because it's kind of glittery. You'll want some paintbrushes of different sizes and shapes. And then if you want to do collage, you'll want to have some scraps ready to go. Most of these come just from magazines that I've collected over the years. You can collect pictures, patterns, words, phrases. Sometimes I like making poetry with words that I've found in magazines. I have another video showing you how to do that. You can check out on my channel. It's also fun to add some textured found materials, so I like using fabric. This is from a jewelry bag. I like the texture of this. I also like that it's kind of transparent and it's gold on one side and silver on the other side. You'll also definitely need some scissors. I like using 2 different sizes based on what I need to cut. Some other optional mark making materials. This is a hotel key that I like to use as a kind of squeegee. A palette knife. You'll need a towel for your paint. And I like to use gesso to prime the canvas. This isn't necessary, but I like to use it. And then you'll definitely want to have a glue stick or some other type of glue. So I think that's everything. Let's go ahead and get started. So because we're using paint on paper, we're going to want to have mixed media paper. And I really like this 18 by 24 size because I like making a zine that's kind of big. But you can use any size paper for this. I'm gonna prime the paper with gesso. Like I said, this step is optional, but I like the way that the paint adheres to the paper better when there's gesso on it. I like the texture, and so I'm just gonna cover this whole page in a thin layer of gesso, and then I'm gonna let it dry. I like using palette paper. I've tried using other palettes, but palette paper, it just makes it really easy to discard old paint and it doesn't go down the drain. So go ahead and get out your paints. Pick out any colors that stand out to you. They don't necessarily need to go together. Just grab a few paints and try not to overwhelm yourself with too many options. I'm feeling like starting with kind of a pastel-y green color. So go ahead and just start painting anything you want, literally anything. Just follow your intuition about what colors you want to use, what shapes you want to make, what textures. This is really an intuitive process. The main thing that I want you to do is just follow your curiosity. And a question I like to ask myself as I'm doing this process is, what if? So if I'm kind of like feeling stuck on what do I want to do next, I think, what if? What if I splatter? What if I do a big splotch in the middle? What if I get white paint and paint over a big area? It's not about looking at what the picture looks like, but more about what is something that sounds exciting? What is something that your hand wants to do in this moment? And then you just follow that, and you don't think about what it looks like. You're focusing on how it feels and what, in the moment, your body wants. And, as an art therapist, I think a lot about how you interact with the process can tell you a lot about how you're feeling or how you show up in your life. So if you're feeling precious about your art materials, how do you show up in that way in your life, and how can you kind of work against that in this process? Or another example, when your picture starts to look ugly and you don't like how it looks, how do you react to that? Do you sit with it? Do you paint over it? Do you learn how to be patient with that discomfort of not knowing how the artwork is going to turn out and whether you're going to like how it turns out? So it really is a kind of meditation to be able to sit with not knowing what's going to happen, how it's going to look, how you're going to feel about it. And you just keep sitting with it, and you just keep breathing, and you keep listening to whatever it is that voice wants you to do next. Does it want you to do fast strokes? Does it want you to cover up something? Does it want, you're just listening in the moment of exactly what your body wants in that moment. And so it really is a meditative process. One thing that can be really helpful is to just tell yourself, I'm going to cut this up, or I'm going to burn it, or I'm going to throw it away after this 30 minutes of sitting with it. It doesn't need to be anything that I keep or share. This is just for me, and it's just for this moment of what does it feel like to make this right now. If you're listening to your intuition, you'll probably get a sense for when you feel like it's done and you're ready to move on to the next step. Alright, so I'm going to set that aside to dry for a little bit, and now I'm going to start flipping through magazines. And this process is actually pretty similar to the painting process because, again, you're using your intuition to pick out things that stand out to you, and you're not really thinking deeply about it. I think it's helpful when you're flipping through a magazine to kind of do it quickly, and so if something pops out at you, just pull it out, and it doesn't matter if it matches the colors that are on your paper or if it makes sense to you. You're not thinking about any of that. You're just working quickly, pulling out things that stand out to you and setting them aside. I also have this box of scraps that I've collected over time. This is like a cardboard bag painting that I did. I have like little containers of smaller pictures, and they're all just kind of random. And I also like thinking about unconventional materials, things that aren't usually found in an art store. It's really fun to start building a collection of things, and the more you do this, the more you'll start to notice patterns in the things that you're drawn to, the kinds of symbols and colors that keep coming up. So again, listen to your intuition about when you feel like you have enough materials. And now I'm going to start refining all of the things that I cut and ripped out. Once everything's kind of trimmed and cut out, I like to organize it by size, color, shape. It's just fun to see what kind of patterns have shown up. Just simply noticing and observing. So now my paper is completely dry and it's ready to be made into a booklet. So you're going to fold it in half long ways, or as they used to call it in elementary school, hot dog style. So make sure it's good and creased, and then you're going to fold it in half again the other way, hamburger style. And we're trying to make 8 sections. So you'll fold it in half on each side. So this way you have 8 sections. Now you're going to fold it with the painting outwards, hamburger style, and then you're going to cut just halfway. So you should now have a horizontal cut in the inner 4 quadrants of your picture. Now you can grab the inner sections, fold them outwards, and that's it. Now you have a book. I really love this part because you get to see the different compositions that come out of this picture that you made. Now you can go ahead and get out your glue stick or whatever glue you're planning to use and go ahead and glue down all of the pages so that this book doesn't come apart. Alright, so now we've made it to my favorite part of this process, which is putting it all together. Get out your collage materials and start playing around with different compositions. You can add washi tape, you can add stamps, any kind of glitter or embellishments that you want to add. And again, with this part of the process, as with the rest, it's very intuitive. However, you're just being a little bit more intentional about where you put things, and you can take your time playing around with different compositions, different ways of layering things. And if you ever feel stuck, just use that question again, what if? And that keeps you in this curious, playful state, which is where you want to be. It can be fun to add tissue paper because it's semi-transparent. One thing I like to do is put stamps on tissue paper, and they usually blend in really nicely to any collage that I'm making. Most of these stamps are ones that I've made myself, and I'm thinking I might do a tutorial of how to make stamps in a future video. Let me know in the comments if that's something that would interest you. Sometimes I feel like if my composition is too busy or there's too much going on, I like to add just a little bit of gesso, and it makes space for anywhere that I might want to add words. I almost forgot to add Polaroids, so I keep all my Polaroids that I've taken over the last few years in this little container, and I'm just looking for the perfect one. I really like this tree one. To be honest, I don't remember where I took this, but I feel like it matches and it goes well here. This is feeling just about done to me, but I still want to add some words. So I looked through some of my journals and I found a couple writings that I felt like matched the vibe and feeling of some of the imagery in this book. I'm adding a little short poem here at the end. And this seems done to me. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It doesn't look anything like what I expected it would. I like that it's kind of indistinguishable from the painting that I started with. And that's what's so fun about this process, is you never know what's going to come up and you might just surprise yourself. So if you decide to try this, I'd love to see what you make, but even more importantly, I'd love to know what this process was like for you. So let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.